Hi, my name is Chris Holton Jablonski, and it is my great joy and privilege to serve you as your minister. And we are coming at you again with our From Your Minister Junior Edition featuring mailbag, my children, my dog, even lots of wonderful stuff. And I believe pretty soon we should have my little sidekick in that little chair. But first, as we always do, a story. And this is a story and that's my sidekick, that's right. So this is one of the stories I've told more than any other story because it became a kind of a hit at my 12-year-old Ben's preschool playground. And all the kids, once they knew I was telling stories, they asked me to tell this story over and over again. So it begins. Once upon a time, there were a people who loved words. They loved words so much that when they were talking with one another, it looked almost like they were dancing because they got so swept up with what they were saying and what they were listening that all of their bodies moved together. They so loved words. And they lived in a lot of happiness and harmony in this village in the middle of a valley with these beautiful mountains surrounding them. And one day, there was a terrible loud noise, and it started shaking everybody's houses to the point where everybody came out of their houses to look and see what was going on. And at the exact same moment, these enormous vehicles crested the mountains all around them and started pouring down into the valleys. They were 5 stories tall with big teeth-covered gates in front of them, and they just rumbled and rumbled and rumbled, and they came all the way around the village in a circle, and they came to a stop at the exact same moment. And with a terrible loud creaking noise, all of the gates opened and stairs shot down, and soldiers started marching down in lockstep, making a terrible, horrible noise. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of soldiers poured out of these vehicles and surrounded the village. They were tall, strong-looking, with big armor, with spikes coming out of them, all blacks and grays and dark grays. And there was this one little person, all dressed in red, who came, and all of a sudden the soldiers parted ways, and the little person all in red came forward, called out to the village people and said, "We are here for your protection. We have 3 simple rules." And he clapped his hands, and a whole team of soldiers came forward with boxes, and they had books inside these boxes, and they started passing out these books. And the villagers opened up the books, and on every single page was the exact same thing written over and over and over again. Never doubt, never question, never speak. Never doubt, never question, never speak, never doubt, never question, never speak, page and page and page and page and page over and over again. And the little man in red said, "These are your rules. Anyone who breaks these rules will be taken away and never seen again." And sure enough, one of the villagers came forward and said, "Don't you think this is a bit," and they were about to say excessive, when they were scooped up by soldiers and taken away. And in that moment, fear swept over the people. And sure enough, they started to listen to those words. They tried their best to never doubt, to never question, and never speak. One by one, all of these beautiful words that they loved, they swallowed them down, and slowly there became a sickness from all the words left unsaid. And days and weeks passed. And there was this one little girl, and she remembered who her people were. She remembered what it was like to speak and listen and watch her family and her friends and her neighbors speak and listen to one another. And she missed that so much that one day, right in the middle of town, she walked right up to one of the biggest, tallest, meanest looking soldiers. And she bent her knees and she dug down deep in her belly for the deepest truth that she could find, and she looked him right in the eyes, and she said, "Your time here is done." And the soldier had never seen anything like that, and so he stumbled backwards, and he ran for reinforcements, even though she was a very small little person. And the villagers came around, they had seen what she had done, they said, "What are you doing? gonna take you away. So by then, everybody knew somebody who had been taken away. And the fear had only got deeper and deeper and more widespread. And she turned on her people, this little girl did, and she said, don't you remember who we were? Don't you remember who we are? And she was about to say something else when 4 soldiers walked back with the one soldier who had run, and they walked right up to her, and she turned around and she did it again. She bent down her knees and she dug down into the deepest part of her belly for the deepest truth that she could find. And she was about to say something when there was a little whirring sound. And there was a little kind of crunching of the pavement, and a little scooter came around the corner with one of her best friend's grandmothers in it. And she scooted right up next to her and pulled in, and she turned her seat around, and she also bent her knees and dug down for the deepest truth that she could find. And she looked all of those soldiers right in the eyes, and she said, your mothers would be ashamed. And all 4 of the soldiers backed up. The truth that she had spoken was so powerful and so large, they backed up and they ran away, and all the people had seen what had happened, and they all came forward. And that kind of truth, that kind of deep truth is contagious. And all of them did the exact same thing. They all started confronting, and they dug down and they bent their knees and they found the deepest truth that they could find, and they spoke those truths, and it was powerful. And that kind of power was more than that army could possibly surmount. And so they packed up and they left. And from then on, the people never took for granted again the beautiful power of their words. And they found every single person who had been taken away. They had been duct taped to a tilt-a-whirl in an abandoned amusement park on the outside of town. They were all fine, but a little queasy when they were set free. And we tell you that story, especially now, because now the deepest truths that we can find, that we can muster, are so needed as our world is hurting, as our communities are strained. The deepest truths that we can muster are needed now more than ever. Amen. Thank you. And so now, I believe it's time.
Let's go.
Time for mailbag. Time for mailbag. Yes. We'll bring it back. Alright, here we go. Ella. Oops. So, welcome everybody to Mailbag. Welcome Jack. Welcome Aaliyah. Careful of that glass. And especially welcome Ella. Come here, Ella. So, Jack, do you want to say the mailbag today?
Sadie from Belmont asked about her dog. Like, what's her favorite treat?
Yeah, so this is our dog, Ella.
Whatever leftovers I have.
Right.
That's a fact.
She quite likes people food.
By the way, I'm going to see which one of these she likes better.
You will? Oh, wow. What an original idea.
She's a mix of a chocolate lab and a golden retriever. She's 2 years old. Ella, and she's gone. She's a great dog. Don't you? What is your favorite part about Ella?
I love just playing with her for like 15 minutes straight.
Yeah, she also likes eating lotion. Like if you put lotion on your body, she'll just lick on your lotion for a very long time. She's a very sweet dog. She likes to bark. She likes to kind of make a ruckus. But yeah, she's been great. She's been a very sweet dog.
Kirby.
Yeah. So that's that. Yeah. And so thanks for mailing in, Sadie. And anybody, please send along your questions for the mailbag. We're going to keep it going during the summer. Stay tuned for lots of different things that are going to be changing, but we will keep this coming to you. So know that you're held and know that you're loved and know that you're in all of our hearts, and we will come to you again real soon. Our cameraman's just chilling on the couch.
Sorry.